Yeah.
Hi guys, it's Happy Conscious Gal here. Oh my god, the most exciting and unexpected thing has happened. I've actually started another round today. I'm actually loading right now as we speak. And you might be wondering, like, why haven't we heard anything about this? It's because I didn't know I was going to do it until I woke up today. I actually thought I was going to do another round if I did one, probably next year, maybe in February or something, once we settled into our new life here and everything. I had absolutely no plans to do it now at all. But what happened was I woke up this morning and I don't even know how to explain it. I just woke up and actually my partner's away for the day, just for 24 hours. He's had to fly to New Zealand and he'll be back tomorrow. And it's the first time we've been apart for ages. The last time he was away, I started my second round. And the time before that, when he was away, I started my first round. So it was probably something to do with that, but I woke up this morning by myself and I just felt like cleaning up the kitchen. I started cleaning up the kitchen, I opened the fridge, I saw my little packet of HCG at the back and I just suddenly thought, I don't feel like starting my next round now. It's the weirdest thing and I had such a strong feeling and that's probably what got me to clean the kitchen in the first place. It's not something I normally do. It was obviously something in me wanting me to go and see that vial of HCG and I really have learned on this journey over the past year to really listen to my intuition around the timing of everything to do with my HCG journey. I really listen to my gut. I really listen to my intuition. You guys know I've talked about that a million times in my vlogs. I'll be talking about it the whole way through all my ebooks, my HCG ebooks I'm writing, following your intuition, trusting yourself. So this morning when I felt that, I was like, I have to listen to this. I don't even know if this makes any sense to do this now, but I just know I need to start it today. And I looked in the fridge, like, do we even have any loading foods? I really don't feel like driving into town. It's a bit of a drive to get there. And I thought, yeah, I do. I have nuts, I have some cheese, I have lots of coconut oil. I actually have a fridge full of like really very potent chocolate delight filled with nuts and peanut butter and stuff that I made for if I ever went to the movies, I might just take one. So I realized I've got a whole big thing of that in the freezer, which is very high calorie and high fat. I was like, wow, I've actually got stuff here I could start loading with right now without having to even go to the shops. I just eat much more of it, obviously, than I normally would. So I was like, wow, maybe I am supposed to do this today. And then the only thing that would have stopped me is that I only actually have one little amount of HCG left. It's my last little 2000 IU thing that was left over from the last round because I had to finish the last round early because we ended up moving house. And you've all heard the story. I stopped my round before I hit the end and didn't know if I'd do it again, so I kept it. But I don't have enough to go past that. That will probably last for about 11 days. Once I've mixed it. So I actually had ordered another lot of HCG about a month ago just for the future, just so I'd have it in powdered form in case I woke up one day wanting to do it, because I know that I'm very spontaneous with this. I always just listen to my intuition and so I'm not always going to have warning, so I thought I'd better have it. So I'd ordered it, but it hasn't come yet, and the reason it hasn't come yet is because the company I ordered it from, which is called Reliable RX Pharmacy, they're the only place that will ship to Australia. They've been having a problem with their credit card, so I had payment system, so I had to pay by check, which was a complicated thing to get check for an American company based in India, from Australia, from an Australian bank, so it took a bit of time. And I finally sent it to them, and I thought, oh well, I probably won't hear from them for ages, I probably won't get the stuff for months, so I sort of forgot about it. But when I had this urge today, I was like, well, you never know, I'll just see if they've emailed me. And I looked and there actually was an email there from yesterday, which I hadn't seen yet, saying that it's in the mail. So that's a pretty big sign that my intuition is spot on. So I'm sure it will get here within a week, and I've got enough HCG here that will last about 11 days, so it'll come in time. Last time it came very quickly once I put it in the mail. Last time it only took a few days, so I'm sure it'll be here in time. I trust that, so pretty funny. So that's the first sign that this is the right decision, that by the time I'm ready for it, the next lot of HCG will be here. But there were a whole lot of other signs. Once I made the decision to do it, I actually went, before I could change my mind, I mixed that vial of HCG and I did my first injection, so now I've started. And then I started loading, eating. High calorie, low, very high fat, healthy fats. No, I don't want to do it with sugar. I'm going to do it like I loaded in round 2 where I didn't have any sugar because my body's feeling so good without all the processed foods, feeling so good without the sugars. A little bit when I had that back pain, I ate a bit of chocolate and I felt terrible afterwards. I got a little bit of candida issues happening again, and I just thought, no, I'm not opening that can of worms again. You know, when you spend a year getting yourself unaddicted to sugar, you do not want to get re-addicted to it. Those of you struggling with that will know. So I'm going to do it in a healthy way like I did in round 2. Anyway, there's all these other signs that this is the perfect time. The obvious one is that my partner Alan is away, and as I said, the previous 2 times I started HCG, I started it when he was away, and it was nice because I mean I had this really little quiet oasis. I could set up my kitchen without his stuff in the way, and measure everything, get everything ready, and sort of start in a really calm, quiet space. And then when he came home, I was already into the rhythm. Now this time he's only gone for 24 hours, but still it's given me today, and I actually have cleaned my kitchen, as you can probably see. It doesn't normally look that clean. Cleaned it, got everything ready, set up for HCG, so that was perfect timing. So that's the first sign that was amazing timing. After I'd taken the injection, I then went into my calendar on my computer to type in the date of my loading, P1 starting, and then to type in when P2 was going to start, and 21 days when that would take me to. I started without even working any of this out. I really wasn't calculating, I was just following my intuition. When I got there, I saw that today, I didn't even realize the date, is the 1st of December, so that's pretty symbolic. I actually thought it was Sunday this morning, but it turns out it's actually Saturday. I've lost track of the days here because we're living in the middle of nowhere. Which means that I'll start my phase 2 on a Monday, which I always like to do. It means I've started this round on the 1st of December. It means if I do a 21-day round, which is what I think I'll probably do, I'll be finished a week before New Year's, which will give me a week on phase 3 before any kind of New Year dinners or anything happen. And if I go 28 days, I still will be finished before the end of the year. And for me, I'm realizing now as I'm sitting and thinking about it and sitting with it that that's perfect. Because as you guys know who've watched my vlogs, I made my vision board at the start of the year, straight after New Year's Eve last year. I woke up one day and I was like, right, 2012 is when I'm liberating all this fat. I don't need it. It's not me. I'm not that person anymore. I've let go of all the reasons why I put it on. I've done all the emotional work. It's time to shed it. And I made that vision board. And that was in the first week of January 2012. So I just realized that if I do this round now, which I've just started, I'll be finished by the end of 2012. So this whole journey of liberating the fat and getting back to my real self underneath it will have all happened in the 1 year in 2012. And I like the symbolism of that because 2012 is a big year of shift. And I really believe things are changing on our planet. And I think 2013 is going to be a very big year for myself and my partner. We've just launched a whole lot of work out into the world in the last couple of weeks. And all of that's really going to take off in 2013. And I need to be my most healthy, most vibrant, most energized self. And also he and I are going to be talking on stage a lot, traveling around the world with our work. And I want to look my best. I want to look healthy. I want to look like someone who's totally self-responsible. I mean, I was covered with a layer of old fat that was really representing my childhood wounding and all the emotional stuff I hadn't worked through, my lack of self-responsibility around foods and all of that. I really wasn't standing up there as a model of someone who's self-responsible. So I'm pretty much there now, and I feel once I've done this final round and liberated the really deepest stuff, which is this final lingering belly fat, which is going to come off now, then I really will be standing there as a model of someone who's self-responsible about their health. So that's exciting. So that's another symbolic thing, another reason why this is good timing. I also realised that I'm actually supposed to be going back home to Melbourne for the Australian Open tennis in late January, and that could have been tricky because I'll be having dinners and catching up with friends, but because I've started this round today, and then if I do finish towards the end of December, and then I will have done 3 or 4 weeks on phase 3 and completely stabilised by the time I go back to Melbourne to visit my friends and family. And having been through the experience in round 2 where I didn't get to stabilise because we moved house and then I injured myself and everything, I really know how important it is to stabilise. And so it's kind of exciting to think I'll have a whole 3 or 4, maybe even 5 weeks, depending on how short this round is, to stabilise before I go home and get all the temptations of socialising. So that's good timing. So I'm like, wow, this is working out to be perfect timing. I couldn't have planned it better, but I didn't plan it. I just followed my intuition and started, and I'm finding all this out after I did my first injection. So the other thing that's funny is I have pretty much stabilised now. As of the last 2 weeks, I've pretty much been settling between 62 and 63 kilograms on any given day. Sometimes down the low end, 62.1, 62.2, some days 62.9, 62.8. Today I actually woke up because I've had, as I said, my partner and I have been putting out some big projects this week. We've been working around the clock. I also put out my HCG book this week. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, go to Amazon and do a search on Mindset Magic. As well as all the stuff I did with my partner, I also managed to finish that book and get it launched this week. So it's been a huge week. And once you have had a chance to read it, I'd love to read any review you write on Amazon or any emails you send me and let me know how you found it. But anyway, go check that out. But anyway, because of the stress of the last few days, we haven't really slept that much because we've been getting all this stuff out in the world, like my HCG book and all our own projects that we're doing together. I haven't had as much sleep, so my water retention's a bit higher than usual, which meant that today, when I got on the scales, I'm actually 63 kilograms exactly. And I realized that's another reason why today is a perfect day to start. Because I don't know about you guys, but I like it if you can have round numbers. I like starting on a round number, 63, because it's really easy for me to count and do the maths later on. When I end up at 59 or 58 or something, I'll be able to subtract it very easily because it's starting from a round number, so not like 62.7 or something random like that. So I like that. Each round I've ended on a round number. Round 1 I ended on 65, round 2 I ended up on 60. So hopefully I'll end up on a round number this time. I don't really know what my goal weight is because, as I said in round 2, when I thought I was going to get to the end that time, but unfortunately it got cut off early, the same applies this time. I don't know how much fat is left on me. I don't know at what point my body's going to get ravenously hungry and I'm going to learn that I've got no more abnormal fat left. Because as you guys know, when you hit the end of your abnormal fat, you get ravenously hungry. That didn't happen last round because I finished before that, finished early. At that point, when I finished the last round, I was actually 60 kilograms, which is ridiculously light for someone like me who spent most of my life, 20 or 30 pounds heavier than that. So I was actually 60 kilograms, which is, I think, 132.3 pounds. And I still had fat on my tummy and my upper back. I still had at least 2 kilos of fat on me. And I was like, what? How can I be thinner than this? This is weird. But I obviously just have a very light build. Who would have thought? Back in the old days when I was 65 and 70 kilos, I never would have thought I'd be under 60. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I obviously am going to be. So this morning after I did my injection, just out of curiosity, I thought I'm just going to muscle test and see if I can get a feeling for what my actual weight's going to be when I've liberated this last fat on me, which is mainly fat on my belly and on my upper back, tiny bit on my arms. There's really not much left on my bum or on my legs or anything like that. It's all apple-shaped fat. Anyway, so I muscle tested it and I got 56 kilograms. That's what my body told me when I muscle tested. That sounds really light, but that's what I got. That's 123.5 pounds. So that's basically like 15 pounds lighter than I am now. So I'd be very surprised if that's true, but you just never know. At least the fact that I got that number has kind of prepared me for that psychologically if that does happen. I've got to say though, it's just really interesting because when I hit 60 kilograms at the end of the last round, I think it's good that I've split this into 2 separate rounds because that was such a shock to my system to be 60 kilograms. I've never been anything like that before. I'm glad I've had the chance to be that weight, be 60, 61, 62 for a while over the last few months because I'm really used to this size now. I mean, this to me doesn't feel weird anymore. This feels like my normal size. So when I do the next jump, the final jump down to 56, 57, 58, whatever it's going to be, that will probably feel weird for a while and then I know I'll get used to that. So I'm kind of glad I've done it in 3 steps because, it is psychologically and emotionally a huge thing to get used to when you end up a weight much lower than you've ever been before. And I know many of you who have done lots of rounds and are towards the end have probably experienced this if you weren't slim in your younger days, if you're getting to a weight you've never been. It's a lot to get used to. It's a lot of what I'm going to be writing about in my later ebooks, which are all about what happens, the emotional stuff that comes up as you get towards the end of your HCG journey, because it's a very different set of psychological issues and emotional issues to deal with. But I'll talk about that in another book. So anyway, very exciting. I think the final reason why this is a really good time for me to do another round is because, as you guys know, I just put out my first ebook, which is all about mindset, and that's the stuff I'm really, really good at and really helps me to nail each round that I do and not cheat and stay really motivated because I'm really, really on top of the mindset. The bit that is harder for me, and I think for most of us, is the deep emotional work that needs to happen. And I have done a huge amount of that to get rid of all the fat that I've already liberated. But I know that this last bit of fat, which is the really deepest fat, that's the oldest fat, that's the real belly fat that I've had as long as I can remember, I'm sure there's a lot of emotional stuff attached to that. So I'm actually really looking forward to spending the next few weeks while I'm doing this round, really working through any remaining emotional issues that I have around this belly fat that I've had on me since I was young, probably 10 or 11 years old. So it's good timing because I'm actually writing the second ebook at the moment, which is exactly about this. It's about your history with your body fat, coming to peace with that, looking at all the patterns in why you put weight on and when you put it on, and all your self-love and all your emotional issues around the fat. So the brilliant thing is I'm going to be working through all these processes as I'm writing them into the book for you guys. So that's kind of great, because otherwise I would have been writing it now and then I would have done it next year, but now I'm doing it while I'm writing it. So the writing will be much richer. I think it'll be much more authentic, and it'll be much more powerful, and probably much more helpful for everyone else. So I'm realizing that my HCG journey is not just about me, it's actually about giving back to the HCG community. And if anyone else can learn from my journey and from the things I'm discovering, then I'm very excited about that, because I do love sharing my learnings with everyone. So anyway, it's turned out that for about 4 million different reasons, this is the perfect day for me to start my third round and hopefully final round of HCG. So I just want to share that with you because it's taken me completely by surprise. My partner's going to get home from New Zealand tomorrow and be totally shocked because he has no idea that I've done this, because I did not know when I went to bed last night that I was going to do this. It came, as I said, completely out of the blue. But it feels completely right. I'm really excited. I just absolutely feel like 3 weeks of eating plain food. We've been eating a lot of really rich food the last few weeks, trying lots of the local new things here. And I don't know, my body just feels like I feel like eating plain fish and one vegetable and a green apple, and that's it for a few weeks. So I think it's going to go really easily. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'll start doing some more regular vlogs now that I'm doing it, so you guys can track my progress. I'll tell you how I go with my loading. I've already started gorging on all sorts of high-fat foods, healthy ones. I might even have a pizza tonight, my first bread in about a year, but if I'm ever going to have it, I might have it tonight. We'll see. I'm going to watch a video by myself, so I might go with a nice healthy pizza. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, I'll let you all know how it goes. Until then, big hugs. Bye.